What makes a house a home? From Shetland to the Borders, Skye to St Andrews, 9 finalists have been selected from across the country. Now the judges must decide which one will claim the title Scotland's Home of the Year. Expert interior designer Anna Campbell-Jones.
From an interior design perspective, what I'm looking for in a home is heart, soul, and originality.
Lifestyle blogger Kate Spears.
I'm looking for a home that feels lived in and loved, somewhere that is personable, charming, and a joy to be in.
And architect and lecturer Michael Angus.
So what I am looking for in a home is for it to be exceptional in its ability to embrace, to entertain, and to exalt.
But in the end, only one house will be Scotland's Home of the Year. The judges have come to Glasgow's House for an Art Lover, designed by renowned Scottish architect Charles Rennie Mackintosh. In these inspirational surroundings, they must choose which of the 9 regional finalists will win the title.
What are the factors that just lift one above the other? Because they're all amazing.
It's going to be really, really tough.
It's not over yet.
Rolling up my sleeves.
Anna, Michael and Kate will first assess all 9 homes and decide on their top 3. Those homeowners will then join them before they make their final decision on who will claim this year's trophy.
Winning it would be a total disaster because I'd cry on camera and that would be humiliating.
Well, I think we'd be delighted because it would be a sort of reward for 9 years of hard work on my part. And
I help as well.
Well, we're going to be really annoyed with you if we don't win.
Yep. Coming to gate.
Don't delete that bit.
So here we are. We've got our final 9 spread out in front of us, and now we've got the task of trying to whittle it down to 3.
We're going to have to arm wrestle, I think. This is going to be really difficult. I mean, they're all absolutely amazing.
Yeah, what a lineup. And so many different homes. We've got a pink home, we've got a new build. It's just such a mix, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't have a clear winner in my mind at all. Not at all.
No, I think I've managed to whittle it down to like my top 9.
First up for discussion is the winner in the Highlands, Colonel's House in Inverness. This 3-storey home was built in 1897 to house the colonel of the local Cameron barracks. It's been home to Gail, Simon and their son Luke since they began renovating in 2011, and they're hoping they might be in with a chance of the title.
Well, I think we'd be delighted because it would be a sort of reward for 9 years of hard work on my part. And
I help as well.
And it's to say it's all been worthwhile because it's been recognised by a wider audience. People will see it on TV and say, oh, wow, I like what they've done there, I like that. And what a lovely couple as well.
This house, I just love it. It's a great house to live in. You feel that the house got a great vibe.
It was such an interesting mix because some of the rooms were more traditional, had all the original features, and then as you got further up the stairs, the personality really came out with the playful zebras coming out the wall, and remember that crazy tropical bathroom. It really felt like in the higher levels, they could express themselves.
Yeah, that's a really good point. It sort of starts off fairly sensible and goes more and more bonkers as you go up.
Even from the outside, I thought the building was a bit quirky. It wasn't quite normal sort of arrangement of things, you know, the door right on the corner. I thought, this is going to be odd, and it was.
I like contrast between spaces, but I think some of the rooms almost felt like they belonged to different people.
Yeah, I felt like that, especially in the kitchen. It just seemed very traditional, and then when they'd let their personality shine through in those upstairs rooms, it was way more fun, and it seemed like an actual home, and downstairs almost felt a bit staged in some ways. I think it's such an amazing addition to the final 9, but I don't think it's in my top 3.
Yeah, it's a fantastic restoration job and lots of really, really brilliant ideas, but for me, not in my top 3.
Yeah, I have to agree. I mean, I love the black, obviously. I love the gold, and if you've got a zebra, you might as well show it off. But I'd agree, it's not in my top 3 either, I must admit.
Oh dear, it looks like it's bye-bye to the Colonel's house.
Colonel's house is first to be knocked out of the competition. But will the winner from the Borders, Spots Mill, be in with a chance? This traditional-looking structure in Castle Douglas is actually a new build and home to Mark and his partner, Caroline. Formerly a grain store, Spots Mill sits on the same footprint as the original construction. But Mark was keen to stamp his own individual character onto the interior of the building.
I love the black, and I think it provides a really great backdrop to everything. It's almost like it frames everything, every item that we've got, even the motorbikes. It just makes everything really vibrant. I was originally designing a house and a piece of architecture, and what we've done in the finishing touches is make it a home. Every single bit of furniture, every single item in the place has either been designed by us, specifically hand-picked, or has meaning, or all three, really.
Michael,
Yeah.
you quite liked it, didn't you?
I did rather. I could argue that it was because from the outside it was just so exquisitely built, and I thought, well, that right from the off, I thought that was really catching me.
This was kind of an unexpected favourite of mine because it's not my vibe at all, but there's something almost endearing about it because it was completely tailored towards the homeowner. It was so bespoke that actually kind of all came together. But I think for me, I'm not too sure if I could actually live there. I'd give it a go, but I think all the dark, I mean, it did have all those windows that kind of balanced it out, but I think it was kind of almost like a fantasy home in some ways.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely pleased themselves. In this beautiful rural setting, the last thing you expect to walk into is a kind of urban garage full of motorbikes, you know. So they're not worrying about what anybody thinks. They're absolutely pleasing themselves with that interior, for sure.
Being, I think, unique like that and actually celebrating those things and actually in a place that you wouldn't expect it. I thought that actually takes a certain leap of imagination and confidence.
It's definitely a brave home, and it was also really fun. I'm not completely like, it definitely needs to be in the final three for me.
Yeah, I feel the same. I feel like I'm about to break Michael's heart, though, and say I don't think it is in my top three.
Can we keep it in abeyance? So what are your,
well, no, I mean, it is
in your top three?
It's definitely one of my favourites without question, you know, but I totally accept that there are things about it that someone might think, you know, maybe not. So yeah, if we could keep it in that sort of, you know, abeyance at the moment and see how we go on.
Okay, so we'll come back to that when we've discussed a few more.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Spots Mill survives for now. Next up, it's the winner from the East, Garden House in St Andrews. Home to Helen, husband Ben, son Zach and spaniel Soda, this new build surrounds a courtyard filled with greenery, using every bit of the site's 320 square metre footprint. For Helen, building a modernist home in a conservation area was a challenge.
For me, it's really important that the house looks as though it's of its time, and we were worried that people wouldn't like it. It is modern, it is quite striking, but as a place to live, it's just so gentle. The word home conjures up a feeling of being able to relax with friends, with family, and not to have to make any effort whatsoever.
I loved that little kind of wooden box perched on the top.
Honestly, what's not to love?
Are we having a moment again?
Having a moment. Well, it's that thing that the building made the external spaces as much a part of the home as the interior spaces. I thought that as a design move was just absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, it was a beautiful home, and so many pieces inside that were just so interesting, a great collection of art, and all the furniture felt very considered, didn't it? And it was the first time, I think, that I've gone around and actually looked at labels to see what the designers were.
Oh, wow.
I just loved it. I loved so much of this home.
There was like no stone left unturned, was there, with the sort of detail of the design of that building?
I couldn't imagine anyone ever having an argument in this home. Do you know that?
We didn't.
I would be really happy to see this home in the final three. It was such an engaging home, and when we were in it, we just felt like we were kind of lively, we were chatty, and there was so much to talk about.
Yes, it did have a really positive atmosphere, didn't it? And for me, that kind of juxtaposition of exquisite architectural detailing and the kind of objects and pieces that mean something to the homeowner, that makes home for me. So I definitely feel that this should be in our final three.
I can't fault it. I just thought it was just a beautiful, beautiful home.
So we're unanimous as going into the final three. I've got a feeling it's going to get a little bit more difficult.
So there's not only 2 spaces left, so it's going to get a bit tricky.
Garden House is the first home to make it through to the next round. Will it be joined by the winner from the West? Home to Annika and Ari, 1882 house is a Victorian conversion in Ayr. The building was originally owned by a wealthy Ayrshire lawyer. Converted into 2 apartments, Annika and Ari own the ground floor. As first-time homeowners, the couple gradually discovered their own style as they began to decorate.
It was pretty much a blank canvas when we first moved in, so we went from playing a bit safe to creating a space that expresses our creativity.
It's our place, we can do what we want, basically.
If we want, I think it'd be great for Annika. This house is pretty much all her. Like, I think it'd be like a major confidence boost.
I'm just not somebody that's very confident, so for somebody to say that they think my house deserves to win anything like that, just anyone saying they like my house makes me feel proud, but it made also a little bit like, oh, can't believe that anyone would think that.
It'd be amazing because I've always been rooting for her.
I love this home because it had so many fun design trends that I've seen all over social media, with the dark kitchen, all the plants, and that neon wall as well. It was just such an inventive home.
The use of colour and the balance of colour in this home was really interesting. The fact that the living space was dark and dramatic and the sleeping space was light and airy. I also loved the way they had incorporated the outside space.
I actually thought this was the perfect home to play Jumanji in. You know, I could completely imagine lions coming out of the wall and like a hunter with a blunderbuss appearing in the garden or something. I just thought it was absolutely magical.
Yeah, the gold mirror ball was a real winner, and we just happened to be there at the most perfect time of day with sunshine, so that was just, the sunlight was scattered all the way around the inside of that room. It was just brilliant. So what do we think?
I mean, I loved it. I thought it was just so full of character. Even though there was all those original features, they had fun with it, and they didn't feel like they were sort of defined by the era of the home. It just was so creative and so punchy and fun.
Yeah, so is it in your final three, though, Kate?
I'm not too sure, actually. I'm interested to know what you guys think.
I've got the same feeling about it. I feel so many of them are so strong. You know, it's difficult at the moment to say. I could immediately jump to that and say it's definitely one of my contenders for sure.
So, I mean, for me, there's another home in our final 9 that has got a lot of similar kind of ideas going on in it. Our winner for the Hebrides, which is, of course, the gorgeous Balak Bothy. And I would be really interested to discuss those 2 together and see which one edges it.
Balak Bothy is a renovated croft house in Staffin in Skye. It's home to Joe, Alan, their daughter Lexi and son Lachlan.
Initially we started off very country cottage, pine, you know, cream, very kind of simple, and then I think we just started going a bit darker, and you'll be glad, Alan. I can't see myself going back to white walls for a long time, so yeah, I know. To appear in a show like this, it's just great. We watch it all the time, and we all watch it as a family, you know, the kids and all. Yeah, we love it. It's just so nice to be asked and considered.
The judges now have to decide whether Balak Bothy or the 1882 house remains in the competition.
They are definitely interesting to compare. You know, you've got 2 old buildings being sort of reinvented and re-inhabited in quite similar, I suppose you'd call it style, wouldn't you? They're quite exuberant in their own ways.
I think one thing that struck me about this home was it was so unexpected. When we walked through into the living room and saw the sort of dark walls and those amazing green sofas, I just didn't expect that from an island home, and that's what I loved about it. It was just such a fun home, and it was a favourite for me, for sure.
Yes, I thought it was very clever, the way they had used the space. It was kind of TARDIS-like. It looked so small from the outside, and then when we were exploring, we kept on finding more spaces, and And it didn't feel, even though it was painted quite dark, it didn't feel cramped.
Well, that's interesting, isn't it? Because the original building would have had a sort of sense of austerity about it. And somehow I wonder about did they overdo it? Whereas I don't think that in the 1882 home, you know, somehow the outside of that building sort of seemed to me say it could live up to that kind of exuberance. And when you went inside, I thought, yeah, more of this, you know, it can handle it.
That's a really, really interesting point, because the 1882 house, those interiors were always meant to be grand and filled with stuff and painted in dark colours and quite lavish and quite grand and opulent. Whereas a crofter's cottage was never, ever meant to feel like that. And maybe actually, conversely, that's what gives the Balak Bothy, for me, the edge. They're both so great, but I think for me, the Balak Bothy should be in the final three.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's the way that it felt authentic. When you walked in, you kind of got this feel that it was lived in. It just felt like it had a bit more of a genuine feel to it.
That's a really good point, actually. I really like that. You're selling me on it.
So that's the thing that makes it more particular to that homeowner, because it's such a radical thing to want to do to that building, whereas with the 1882 house, it's kind of asking to have that kind of interior done to it. We knew this was going to be horrible, but it's time to say goodbye to another one. Are we agreed?
Yeah, say goodnight.
Okay, 1882 house isn't going to make our final three, but that Balak Bothy is still in the running.
The judges hold on to Balak Bothy for now, but there are some tough decisions ahead.
I thought there would be more fights. We're actually kind of in sync today.
It's not over yet.
Rolling up my sleeves.
The next home for consideration is the winner from Orkney and Shetland, Evra Bister. Evra Bister is a renovated croft house in Cairngord in Shetland. Nestled in one of the few areas in Shetland with trees, it's home to Julie and Gary.
It's originally an old croft house, over 200 years old. Originally just a button ben, stone-built old house, and in the 60s it was extended and made a bit bigger.
Home is really important to us. It's just a lovely, quiet place to come home to after a difficult week. It would be brilliant if we got through to the final. We'd just love people to see the inside of the house. Lots of people visit the surrounding area, the woods at Cairngord, and we would just love to be able to show it off a little bit.
You loved it, Kate, didn't you?
I did. I think it was the living room for me, because you walked in and it had this very cozy vibe straight away. It was those green sofas for me, and then the rows of records on the shelves around the window. I just loved it. One thing I noticed though was that the same style wasn't really carried into the rest of the rooms. I didn't get that same sort of cozy or relaxed feeling in the bedrooms as I did in the living room, which I loved so much. But then they had that really impressive shed outside that was so multi-purpose. It could have been a gym or, you know, used for hobbies or partying. It was just such a great use of space.
I've never seen anything like that. And again, if a home's going to give you that, you know, that kind of make your head turn a little bit and go, never seen that before. That's always an amazing thing, I think, in a home. Keeps it fresh, you know.
Do you think it was amazing?
I thought the shed was. The home made me feel instantly kind of calm. I felt as if as soon as I came through the door, I could immediately settle. Felt at home, actually, instantly.
It almost sold me on island life as well. I feel like I could have just upped and left and just settled into that home. It was just so adorable.
I feel like they might have had more capacity to be more daring with some of their choices. Maybe some wall colours could have been jumping out a little bit more, especially when you look at it on the table against some of the really, really strong personalities in some of the homes that we've been discussing today.
Yeah, I think if we were basing it just on that sort of living room and the kitchen, it would definitely be in my final three, but because there's other rooms in the bathroom, they just didn't have that same vibe. I just didn't fall in love with it like I did in those first couple of rooms.
Yeah, I don't think it's in my final three.
Yeah, I'd agree. It's not in my final three either.
So we're all agreed that as much as we adore Evra Bister, it's not making our final three.
Evra Bister is out of the running. as the debate turns to the winner in Central, the mid-century fun house, home to Nick, Fiona and their son Eddie. Originally built in 1973, Nick and Fiona bought the house in 2012. Over the next 8 years, they completed most of the renovation and decoration themselves.
We like a lot of colour. And when we got round to painting it and decorating, we discovered I don't think it had been any other colour but white or magnolia.
And the garden was totally barren, basically wild when we moved in. I started with the bar about 6 years ago and got into building things, and it just kind of went from there and culminated with me building the extension myself as well. The house is built for entertaining, really, and being outside. Love to be able to cook in any weather.
Christmas Day.
Christmas Day, yeah. I've barbecued Christmas dinner before.
Michael,
Yeah,
you had fun in it, didn't you?
That was definitely a fun house for me. I felt as if I was in a time machine, actually. It was lovely.
It was so fun, it was nostalgic, and I loved the way it didn't feel like they'd sort of bought new pieces. Everything that was in there was repurposed or found or hunted down, or they made themselves, which is really impressive to see. For me, it was probably the garish colours that didn't really work. I think it was just too much with those sort of neon shades on the walls.
But that's quite a subjective thing, isn't it? I mean, they obviously really love those really strong, bright colours. I think it's really interesting, that balance between 70s theme or 70s enthusiasm. And I think that they're enthusiastic for a certain era of furniture. I mean, I'd love to meet them. They're so fun, and there's so much love, actually, in that home. I really felt that they all cared for each other, and that was expressed in the interiors.
Well, I think that's right. It had a great livability about it, didn't it? I mean, you could imagine you put those types of things into a home, they might get too precious. You know, you think, well, I can't actually sit on that, I can't actually open any of that. And it didn't feel like that. It felt very lived in. And of course, the outside just reinforced all that. You know, this little walkway was just going to take me into this other world entirely. That one's going to stay with me. You know, that's special.
So is it going to stay with us, though?
You're not convinced, are you?
Oh, Michael, I feel like I'm just breaking your heart today. There's things I love about it, but I'm not too sure I could have it every single day in my home, like the painted kitchen cabinets, which I love to see, but at the same time, I just felt like it was a lot going on in there. I just think for that reason, it's not in my final 3.
Oh, okay, so we said we were being harmonious. We've hit our first hiccup, because I really love it.
Yeah, I really love it.
Wow, okay. Am I the odd one out here?
So can we agree to keep it in play for now?
Okay, I'll live with that.
I'm good with that, for sure, absolutely.
Mid-century funhouse is still in with a chance. But it's about to face stiff competition with the winner from Lothian. Built in 1824, Doric House was designed by architect William Henry Playfair. Today it's home to Craig and husband Nick. For Craig, their interior design choices reflect the building's era, but with a few quirky touches.
Each room has a different theme. So the drawing room is very much designed to be like a traditional Georgian drawing room. It's very dark. We've got the leather, the mustard, the wood-burning stove. The master bedroom is all about indulgence and bringing that kind of Scottish nature in. I'm not sure about going through to the next round. Winning it would be a total disaster because I'd cry on camera, and that would be humiliating.
The homeowners they've really lavished it with attention. They've filled it with quite an eclectic range of very beautiful objects, and they've been bold with their colour choices. That living room with the dark, inky walls and the yellow armchairs almost kind of glowing in that dark space. I think from an interior design point of view, it's a very successful interior. The only thing is where that line is between a really successful interior and a really successful expression of the idea of home.
You know, when someone has a passion in interiors like that, of course their home is going to be as put together and concise as that.
That's a good point. So the fact that it's a beautiful interior is actually in itself an expression of that home owner's interest in interiors always is quite difficult to unpick, isn't it?
I can't help separate myself from the feeling that these buildings, I expect carriages to turn up, you know. I expect people in top hats and all that, and that seemed to carry on in the decor on the inside. So I felt as if I wasn't dressed correctly in that home. Does that make sense?
Oh, so you didn't feel relaxed because you felt that it was sort of too grand?
A little bit. I mean, I really loved it. It was beautifully done. But I don't know if I felt at ease because we don't really live like that anymore. I'm not sure. I'm two minds about it.
Yeah, it was almost too grand in a way. I think you have to wonder if you could live there yourself.
We're getting stuck, aren't we? A little bit stuck.
I'm not too sure if it's my final three, just because it is, you know, I agree with you, Michael. I think it does need to be relaxed a little bit.
I must admit it wasn't in my top three, much as I admired the architecture and enjoyed that inherent quality.
They've done a really good job of respecting the architecture and creating spaces that are appropriate and stunning. But maybe it just feels more like a hotel than a home, like a really great hotel.
Yeah, that could be it, actually. It's just not got that sense of personality leaping out from it.
Or personalisation more than... Because it's got personality.
Yeah, personalisation, exactly.
Yeah. So we're agreed then. A little bit surprised, maybe, but we're agreed that Doric House isn't in our final three.
Yeah, I'm in agreement.
That's quite a shocker. Okay?
Doric House is the fourth home to be knocked out of the competition.
Okay, we've got quite a few white rectangles on the table now. How are you feeling, Michael?
I'm hurting a little bit. It's difficult to see some not going forward, I must admit, but that's what we have to do.
And we've got to remember that all of these homes are finalists. They're all winners of their region. So it's not surprising that we're finding it really hard to find space between them.
Yeah, it's been hard, but we knew it would be hard. But I actually feel quite pleased. I think it's a really good mix that have made it so far.
The final home for consideration is the winner of Glasgow and the Clyde Valley, the Moss. A Georgian renovation just outside Killearn, it's been home to Karen, Matt and their children Marnie, Cora and William since 2018. With views over the 26-acre grounds, the home's 5,000 square foot interior is spread over 2 floors, with the renovation taking a year to complete.
We moved in and we had mice everywhere and an ancient kitchen, and it was just like getting on holiday to a really bad Airbnb for a while. But it was lovely. It was exciting for the children to be on an adventure. Quite a lot of the features have been taken out, the coving and the ceiling roses, so we reinstated a lot of that. We used quite a lot of bold colours that wouldn't be out of place in a Georgian house, but the main thing for us was to have a really relaxed vibe, something that all the family and friends could come and enjoy and not feel that it was very stiff. So that was the sort of look we were going for.
I love this home. I think the kitchen sold it for me because it was just such a big space. It had that incredible island and the shelving, and then the way they had so much storage, so everything was kind of tucked away. So everything that was out was kind of styled. It just felt very considered.
The other thing that I loved in the kitchen was, even though it was all so sleek and beautifully designed and immaculately detailed, they had a chunky old scrubbed pine kitchen table, like a proper farmhouse table in that space. And I think that showed a lack of preciousness, which is, I think, really important in a real home.
I felt as if there was time to move from one place to the other, and you could sort of assimilate that room because you'd had a moment before you got to it. As I use like the analogy of a meal, there's the gaps between your dishes, you know. It was just, there wasn't a lot of food getting thrown at you at once. You had time to digest and move on to the next one.
It was like kind of gourmet extravaganza.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why the hallways were quite simple, because they just give you a little break between each experience.
That's it, exactly. It's got a wonderful quality about it.
Yeah, I really fell in love with this home, and it wasn't just because it was pink and palatial. It was really, really good fun. You could tell that people lived there, that they loved it, that love had been put into it. I really would like to have this in our final 3.
I just thought it was such a fun and creative home, and that you could tell that they completely restored it. It was just such a magical experience being inside. So I think it's definitely in my top 3 as well.
I know, here we go. Funnily enough, yes, I'd totally agree. I absolutely, this home, it's grown on me. You know, I didn't initially think that it was going to become such a front runner, but it really has. I mean, this is definitely in my top 3 without question.
Ooh, top 3 without question.
Without question.
All 3 of us. Okay, so that makes that a dead cert for the final 3.
The Moss joins Garden House in the final 3.
So we've got the Moss and the Garden House. We're unanimously agreed they are dead certs, which means that we have 3 to talk about.
Now, with only 1 place left, which home will go through? It's between the mid-century funhouse, Spots Mill, and Balak Bothy.
It's lovely just even to appear in a show like this.
You've done a great job, you really have.
Thanks.
I think it's a cool house. So I would love it if we won. And I think it would give everybody a real lift because we've had so much help.
I don't think we're expecting to get any further than the show, really.
I'd be amazed.
Who wants to start the conversation?
Instinctively, I can think of 2 that I think are, I would say, more interesting than 1. And the one I think is potentially less interesting is the Balak Bothy.
Okay.
It feels as if I've sort of seen that in a sense before, whereas the other 2 seem to me to be more ambitious, I must admit.
Kate, what are your feelings about the Bothy?
I disagree. I think the Bothy is one that I definitely want in the top 3. I think it's such a charming and cosy addition. It feels like home to me, definitely more so than the other 2. I would want to keep it.
It's a good thing you're in the middle, Anna.
Right, I think it's really interesting that out of the 3 that we're discussing now, we've got 1 each. Because the one that I would most prefer to keep, and it's very, very, very close for me between Balak Bothy and the Mid-Century Funhouse, is the Mid-Century Funhouse. It's so original, and I've never seen anything like it, and it's so clearly particular to that family, and it doesn't take much notice of what's on trend.
I think I'd make the same argument for the Spotters Mill.
See, I knew that would be your one.
I was actually thinking, you just said what I was going to say. Yeah, with the same, I've never seen anything like that. I've never seen a home with motorbikes in the hall, and it's that, you know, very personalised interior.
We are having to split hairs now, aren't we? Because, I mean, these are all absolutely fantastic homes. But I suppose the thing with Spots Mill for me is that it feels a little bit like a retail space more than it feels like a home to me.
Yeah, I agree. With Spots Mill, it's almost too personalised. It's just so unique to the homeowners that I couldn't imagine myself living there. It's just too far away from what I consider home.
I mean, I know between the 2, you know, if I had to pick one that I think I could just more comfortably live in, not because it's packed with 70s gear, but I could definitely chill out more in the funhouse than I could in Spots Mill.
You couldn't have a no makeup day in Spots Mill?
No, you'd always be on show. For sure, but not the case in the funhouse.
So, are we agreed then that Spots Mill is not going to be one of our final 3?
Yeah, I have to. I actually feel it it's quite difficult to agree to that, but I agree, yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely, well, it's a surprise, but.
Spots Mill is out. Now it's between Balak Bothy and Mid-Century Funhouse.
Which of these 2, the Mid-Century Funhouse or Balak Bothy, should be in the final 3?
Yeah, I feel like you're kind of almost the deciding factor, Anna, because Michael and I both have our favourite.
Yeah, you're right, Kate, you are. You know, we do.
So does that mean you've got to make your case to me? All right then, Kate, bring it on.
I mean, it's tricky because I love them both, and I feel like I love them both for similar reasons because they both have this sort of homely and quirky quality to them. But then Balak Bothy just had something about it that I fell in love with. I think it was that living area that felt so cozy against the sort of rugged island life. And it was just, I think, unexpected as well. I could tell they'd really put a lot of heart and soul into it. So for me, the Bothy still is my favourite to go through.
The lovely thing I felt about the Bothy was that, rejuvenation of the building. The Bothy would always have that latent history, that bedded in the earth, whereas the sort of 70s funhouse, you think, well, what's the value in that? It's a sort of nothingy sort of piece of architecture, and yet, when you went inside, it sort of reminded you that there was a quality of workmanship in buildings of that period that you could actually argue these days we've actually lost. Mm-hmm. But I'm still sort of sold on the exuberance beyond the four walls of the funhouse. That's the bit that gets me every time. It was that unexpected delight of just wandering out of your home and the journey just carrying on.
Yeah, I don't know if that's necessarily a fair way of separating them, because we'd always said about the Bothy that it didn't need like a garden because of where it's located. It's just located in one of the most beautiful places in the world. I feel like the Balak Bothy would be a popular choice if we were to put it in the final three, because it represents a trend that's very, very now, which I love. But does that make it less personal than the mid-century funhouse, which you could not argue has got anything to do with fashion and has only got to do with an absolute kind of joyous, loving family expressing themselves in all of their eccentricity? So I think I've just talked myself into making a slightly, like that much, stronger case for the mid-century funhouse to be in the final three.
I see how it is. Ganging up on me.
To be fair, it's usually us two ganging up on him.
It's interesting because we're comparing one that is perhaps too on trend and one that is not on trend but perhaps even a bit dated or stuck in the past. So it's kind of stuck in the past but has come round again and it's almost on trend with its 70s style. So I can see that it has a place in the final three.
You're okay with that compromise? Michael?
It just is the one for me that I felt all along had that extra additional magic to it.
Okay, so decision made. We're going to say a very, very sad goodbye to the beautiful Balak Bothy.
The mid-century funhouse takes the last place in the final three homes.
Hold on a minute, folks. We've got our final three. We've got the Moss, Garden House, and Mid-Century Funhouse.
I'm really pleased with that. Such a varied top three.
Well, it's amazing, isn't it? And I definitely see a sense of sort of stronger qualities all in, sometimes indefinable. You just say that is just better.
Although these three homes are so different to each other, they all have love in them.
Now that the final three have been chosen, it's time for the homeowners to come to House for an Art Lover to meet the judges and each other.
How does it feel to be in the final? Exciting. It's not something that you take for granted.
It's incredible. I can't believe that we're in the top three. I mean, I didn't even think we'd get on the show. Then to win our episode and now to be here, it's just mind-blowing.
I wasn't expecting it, and actually I thought it'll be fine, it doesn't matter if I'm in it or not, but then when it came down to it and we got the call, I was like, I really want to be in the final, so very pleased.
I've not even thought about the possibility of winning.
If we were to win, I don't know how I'd feel. I'm not expecting to, and I literally haven't gone there.
I'm not expecting to win. I'll be delighted either way. It's really wonderful to be here in the top three. It'll be great, but I'm not holding my breath.
I'm amazed and excited to be here. Just looking forward to meeting the other contestants. It's going to be really interesting to see what I'm up against.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Welcome to the final of Scotland's Home of the Year. How does it feel to be here?
Unbelievable.
So nice to be here.
It's been so difficult to get this far, so you should be incredibly proud of yourselves. We've seen so many beautiful homes this series.
Yes, it's really lovely to meet you, to put faces to the homes. It really has been an incredibly difficult competition to get to this point.
It was really, really difficult to get down to the final three, and now we've got the task of picking the winner. So while we go off and deliberate and get tense, worrying about making the right decision, we'll leave you three to get to know each other and have a look at each other's homes. See you in what might be a long while. Okay, folks, it's decision time. We've got our final three that we've now got to discuss. It's going to be really, really tough. Michael?
We're going to have to dig deep. I mean, how are we going to distinguish what are the factors that just lift one above the other? Because they're all amazing.
I'm looking for a home that we enjoyed being in, that felt like it was cozy and inviting and somewhere that we felt like we could enjoy it. So I feel like I've already maybe got a favourite, but I'm willing to see what you guys think.
The things that I'm looking for is that sense of home, like what home means. I think that's really, really important. We've talked about originality. Which one of these homes has got the edge when it comes to originality? We talked about design. Now, high design isn't necessarily incredibly important to me or to us, but it's definitely a factor. So what weight do we give that when we're discussing these three homes? It's definitely going to be really, really difficult to find space between these three and choose our winner.
First up for discussion is Helen's home, Garden House. But what do the other homeowners think of the competition?
I love the cladding, it's stunning. I love the shape, the chevron, that gives it such an interest there.
But I love the contrast to that wooden part of the building on top as well. It's amazing.
That's beautiful, like looking out onto the garden.
Yeah, that view down there, straight through the house. It's fantastic.
I know this is the point where we're starting to find niggles, and it's hard because I absolutely fell in love with the garden house. I suppose if I was looking for something, it would be that the kind of white cube modernist house is a generic style of architecture that seems to have embedded in it rules about the way in which you inhabit it as a human. And the way that that home has been inhabited follows those rules quite carefully. If this was an architecture competition, hands down, for me, that would be the winner. But what we're looking for is this slightly intangible idea of what home means. And I'm not sure if out of these three, the garden house is the best example.
I think you make such a valid point, because I would move in tomorrow and I'd be perfectly at home. So I'm speaking for the architect, you know, thinking, absolutely. So if that's the case, then that's kind of reinforcing your argument. Stylistically, it's knitted and it feels absolutely perfect. But then is that all just a kind of consequence of feeling that you've got to decorate it that way because the architecture is telling you so?
I suppose it's worth considering that the homeowner commissioned the architect to make a modernist, minimalist white box. So which came first, the chicken or the white cube-shaped egg?
I love the garden house, and I think you could tell that when we walked in, we were all kind of oohing and eyeing. It had this very calming wood and white effect with all the greenery. I don't usually connect with newer homes like I did with this one, I think because my own home is Victorian and I'm used to older buildings. So I felt like this still had all the character of a home. You could tell who lived there. I got a lot of the personality from the homeowners as we walked around the home, and I think they had brilliant taste in all the artwork and the furniture. I think, again, they could have gone bigger with some of the colours, but I still absolutely loved it, and I think it's such a great home to have in the final three.
Next up is the winner from Glasgow and the Clyde Valley, Karen's home, The Moss.
I love the way that you've just taken that blue everywhere into the bookshelves, onto the walls.
I like that balustrading that you've got in there.
Yeah, it's nice.
Really unusual.
Your use of colour is just
Thank you.
fabulous.
I like the lampshades with the brass or the colours in that really warm the room up as well.
High Street fine.
That is such a nice house.
So inventive, you know, I mean, it was just full of all these quirks. It's that internal sort of investment, and each room sort of given a particular slant and took sort of what seemed to me like everyday activities and just made them really, really special.
Well, I think it was obvious from the moment I walked in that I loved this home, and of course, Old Pink. It's just such a fun addition, I think, because it stands out. It was beautiful from the outside and beautiful on the inside. And I loved the way that every room sort of had its own little theme to it. You know, you had this sort of the dark room with the rainbow bookcase, and then the sort of lighter, more relaxed room next to it. And then that beautiful kitchen, which we all fell in love with. Every room was just sort of styled beautifully, and I think they'd done it in a really considered way.
From a kind of interior designer point of view, what I thought was really interesting was you've got a very traditional country house. It's symmetrical, it's got the big front door, it's got the big formal rooms. How do you adapt a home like that, which has got such strict bones for contemporary life, when people want open plan, they want all different kind of ways of living that we're used to now? And I think that what they achieved really, really well with this home was that balance. So they managed to update it for modern living, but whilst understanding the structure and the bones of the building itself. I thought it was wonderful. And they painted it pink, so.
The final home for consideration is Nick's mid-century fun house.
I love that foliage, that hand-painted. I just think that is phenomenal.
Yeah, it really cheers up that space.
All the walls are in such cheery colours, it's gorgeous.
That's my son's room. I made his bed out of a Chevy pickup.
Okay. Did you? That's cool.
Some cocktails at the ready there. All that middle shelf is rum.
Oh.
Your house looks so much fun.
Amazing, really gorgeous.
Cheers.
Well, I'm glad it's got fun in the title, because it was such a fun home. Walking around here, I just felt nostalgic. I just saw so many pieces that reminded me of growing up, and I had this sense of, I don't know, it almost transported me back, and it was just such a, I don't know, a nice home to be in. I think for me it was quite vibrant. There was a lot going on. I wouldn't always say it was my vibe, but I think it's such a wonderful addition to have in the final, because it is so lively. And it does have so much of what I want in a home, which is character and signs of life and personality. And I think you really got an idea of who lived there when you're walking around the home, which is always fun to see.
I loved what you said, Kate, about transporting you back. It didn't transport me anywhere. I've never left that era, so I was, you know, just slotted right in, quite happy. And then you get to the back and it all just takes off into the garden. I mean, it really was. I mean, fun, absolutely, no question. This was a fun place to be.
If we're talking about, you know, originality being something that we're looking for in this competition, then this has got it in spades. Yes, it's not necessarily like everyone's cup of tea, but they've done nearly all of the work themselves. They've used their imagination, even down to the handmade coverlet on the bed and the kids' bed made of bits of old cars. It's just so joyful. I know that's a word that I've used before about this home, but it's, I don't know, it's just really life-affirming, a home like that.
This is a hard one it'd be really hard to think about that being matched for fun by the other two, you know what I mean?
That's really true. I mean, it's just really, it's like splitting hairs, isn't it? Trying to find differences between them. Obviously, they're completely different to each other, but differences in terms of which one's going to be our winner.
I have no idea how the judges are going to choose. They're all so different. They have their own integrity, their own aesthetic. I think what they all share is all three of them look like lovely places to live.
Helen's Pond It was beautiful, really lovely. It's such a lovely way to use the garden to enhance the interior. So yeah, beautiful. And obviously the Americana feel in the other house is just gorgeous.
I feel a little bit David and Goliath. They're both bigger houses with bigger budgets. But I think the other two are great, so if I lose to them, it's not a big deal, and I never thought I'd get this far.
It would be the cherry on the cake, but it's really not necessary. This has been a fantastic experience. To have got this far is really, really great.
It's just up to the judges now, so as everyone says, I'm glad it's them, not me.
Okay, well, we've been having a lovely time talking about the fun times that we had in these beautiful, beautiful homes. But now we've actually got to make up our minds. We've got to talk about which one of these three stunners is the winner.
There's two that I think really jump out a little bit for me more than the other one. And much as it pains me, I don't get quite the same, I don't know, a sense of maybe embrace and exalt from the mid-century funhouse. I thought it was wonderful. I loved it. I'll never forget it. I'd love to sit at that tiki bar, and it was just wonderful. But I feel as if the other two for me are just more robust and more exquisite, I think, in the things that they were trying to do.
There's a nodding and a mming coming from Kate.
Yeah, I thought it would take us longer to get here, Michael. I thought me and you would have something to say, and Anna, you'd be referee. But no, I agree. For me, it's definitely the garden house and the moss that are head-to-head. I think as much as I love the mid-century funhouse, it was always, I'm glad it made it this far, but it was, I think, not in my final two.
Oh, it's a tough one, isn't it? I mean, I hear what you're saying, and these three homes are the last three because they are the best three. The mid-century funhouse chimed with me a lot because I really love that era of furniture as well, and I loved how fun and how personalised it was, and the fact that they had done so much of the work themselves. But I agree with both of you that when you look at these three together, that the garden house and the moss edge it away from the mid-century funhouse. For me, by a very small margin. So now we have the difficult problem of trying to find qualitative differences between the garden house and the moss. There's so little in it. It's really, really tough.
I know sort of which one I'm leaning towards, I must admit, but it could go either way, really could go either way. The garden house, I just continually have the sense that if I was wanting a building to put its arms around me, it's that building. And the moss, just, I don't know, it just had this kind of spark about all the things that it was doing. I keep getting flashes in my mind of moments all through the building, and each room having a little bit of specialness about it.
I think with the garden house, I would have just loved to see a bit more personality, because I think that's what sets the moss aside, is that it was just full of character, it was full of life and colour, and they'd totally gone in with their personality and created this space that was so unique and personable to them. And that is really the only thing that's in it for me.
It's really, really difficult because I've got this emotional pull in two really, really different directions because they're such different kinds of homes. The garden house, the spaces are really, really exquisite. They all look onto the garden. They all share a colour palette and a style. And that's one way of approaching designing a home, that the whole thing is quite homogeneous and flows. So it's almost like you're in one space wherever you are in that home. The moss, completely the other direction, is full of colour and pattern and personality and variety of kinds of spaces. And I think from a kind of design perspective, it's probably cleverer because it's that how you apply modern life and your personality to an older building, which has already got a very loud voice. You haven't got the luxury of a building plot that you can then control. This is more of a negotiation. And I think what comes out of that negotiation between the homeowner and the building and modern life is something much richer, much more like home.
The judges must come to a decision and announce which house they have chosen to win Scotland's Home of the Year.
I deal really, really badly with suspense. So the way that I cope is in not letting the prospect of winning ever cross my mind.
With the winner being announced, it's exciting, it is nerve-wracking. I'm trying just not to think about it and just stay calm.
Well, hi again. As suspected, that was extremely challenging, but a lovely problem to have, to be deliberating 3 such incredible homes.
Yes, we're incredibly grateful to you all for letting us into your homes these past few weeks. You all have such beautiful homes that you should be proud of. You're all very worthy 3 finalists.
Yes, they are incredible homes. We've been all around Scotland and seen a whole selection of incredible homes, and it really is quite something to see it distilled down to your 3.
Well, well done, everyone. But there has to be one winner. And I'm delighted to announce that this year's winner of Scotland's Home of the Year is the Moss.
How do you feel?
I'm going to pass out, I think. Not to be dramatic or anything. I'm thrilled. I'm obviously thrilled to stand between you guys because your houses are beautiful as well. So I'm very grateful. So thank you. Thank you all.
The Moss beats mid-century funhouse and garden house to become Scotland's Home of the Year.
I'm just chuffed to bits to have got this far, so not winning it's not a big deal for me.
Both Nick and Karen, I think, have fabulous homes, and Karen's in particular. I loved what she did with colour and the warmth and variety, the artwork. I thought her house was fantastic, and she absolutely deserved to win.
Oh, I'm delighted to have won. It's amazing. It took a minute to really believe it and process it, but it was brilliant. I'm really pleased. Pleased for the house, mostly, which sounds a bit weird, but it's my lovely house. We spent a good year living with mice and bats and no heating and no flooring. So it was quite an upheaval for the whole family. So I suppose getting this makes it all worth it.